Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battle? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, shit, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef, I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battle? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow.
Oh, what's up? What's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing. What's up with you, Free?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, I see my boy MarkyDan stood us up again, man. He's a goofball.
Oh boy.
Hey, but what you think about Terrence Crawford, man, getting stripped, man? What you think about that?
It was. I mean, I think it's best for boxing because it was more so Terrence's own doing. We all know that when Jerome Bruce Ennis got the IBF interim title, he was next in line to fight the winner of the Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. Because the IBF, they normally don't give out an interim belt. And when they do, it's only for a year. So it's a time limit on that fighter being the interim champion. He's literally the mandatory without it being ordered as a mandatory. He's literally the mandatory for the title. So being though that Terrence came out and said that he wasn't going to fight him because he was a high risk, low reward, and then he started telling everybody that he was going to fight the winner between Jamel and Canelo, it pretty much already sealed it that he wasn't going to fight at 147, which I already knew he wasn't going to fight at 147. I already knew that the rematch with Earl and Bud was going to be at 54. So, but he pretty much told the IBF, look, I'm not fighting him at 147. So the IBF was like, well, if you're not fighting him, we might as well go ahead and take the belt from you because we want to make money off that belt. You're not going to be sitting there fighting at another division, and we're not getting no money for that because when if he'd have fought Earl at 54, the IBF is not getting paid for that belt because that's at a weight class that's not the belt is not on the line, so they're not getting paid for that. That's just a voluntary fight with no belts on the line.
Yeah, salute to my man K Savoy. Hey, I'll say this. I think it's crazy because this is just another fighter using the business to put somebody out of position. Because I don't know if this raises Jaron Ennis' stock getting the belt emailed to him, but we'll see what happens, man. I just never seen these guys want to get a belt emailed to him. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could say he got the belt emailed to him. Me personally, I don't say he got the belt emailed to him because he's the intern champion. So the intern champion literally means if the champion vacates that belt or that champion, God forbid, happens to pass away, he's automatically elevated as the champion. So, or if that champion just happened to retire, he's automatically elevated as the champion. So I don't look at it as him getting the belt emailed to him. He got elevated. So he still will be fighting for the title because he's elevated as the champion, but he won't receive the IBF championship belt until he fights in his first fight and actually win that fight. So he could be the IBF champion and literally never hold the belt because he get in there with somebody and they beat him. He will be the IBF champion, the first IBF champion that never held the belt. So, I mean, I don't think nobody's going to beat him, but it very well could happen, and he will be the champion that actually never held the belt.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Salute to my man Casey Boy said, "What up? I had to come smash the like button." Salute my man Bruce Gas said, "I heard the white guy could fight." You know, before my man MarkyDan flaked out on us, we was gonna have Rocky Marciano. And I think the thing about Rocky Marciano that's missed, I know you know this, but he was one of the first champions to give black guys opportunity to fight for his heavyweight championship. And he did it. He gave him multiple times, not just one, and a couple times he fought him twice. So it's like for him to do what he did in the 50s, I mean, it says a lot about Rocky Marciano. And I think that's why he's remembered for that stuff, man.
Yeah. And, I mean, and if you think about it, what's so funny about it is when the IBF became a major sanctioning body, Larry Holmes was the first one to ever hold the belt. Larry Holmes had dropped the WBC belt, and the IBF asked Larry Holmes to be their champion. So he was the first IBF champion when he got that belt, and he never fought for it.
I got you, Casey Boy. I got to get on my laptop. I got you. I just think it's funny going back to what you were saying about the Jaron Ennis thing. It's like I feel like that kid can't catch a break, man. Whether it's getting the belt emailed to him now. I mean, he can seem to never get a big fight. I think he should really, if it was me, after he defends and becomes champion at 147, I would move up right up to 154 and demand a big fight because these guys are getting away from him, man. I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean, actually, him being the IBF champion, he could move right in line to fight the IBF champion at 54. And so, I mean, he very well could do that, but I think he's going to stay at 47 and try to become the undisputed champion at 47 if those fights is available to be made. If these guys don't duck them, so we're going to see with that. But I think it might be the signs to come that we're about to see the rest of these belts from Bud Crawford also be dropped, because if the IBF do it, very well, the other sanctioning body is going to do it too, because they're going to say, well, the IBF took him. He's no longer the undisputed champion. So if he's not fighting at 47, we might as well go ahead and pull our belt too and go ahead and try to make some money off these belts at 47 because he's fighting at 54. So
You know what I got to do, man. I'm gonna do. We actually, me and you, I got to talk to you behind the scenes. We got a couple of boxing interview next week, but I got to look and see what are they doing with all this money. Salute to Quickly, showing love. I got to see what they doing with that money, man, because it's like they making millions of dollars, man.
what
Off these fighters, man.
the sanctioning
Yeah,
body?
the sanctioning bodies, yeah.
I mean, well, a lot of it goes to making the belts. It goes to the people that run the sanctioning body. It goes in their pocket because I mean that's the only way they can get paid is by the fighters paying sanctioning fees. But some of that money goes towards them making a belt because once you become a champion, yeah, if you lose the title, but you actually keep a title at home. You keep your actual title. The
Yeah.
title that they give you, you actually keep that at home. So they have to make a whole new title for the new champion. So money goes towards making titles as well. But a lot of that is to pay their pocket. Just like the money that the NFL pays to the commissioner. He don't have a team. He gets paid from the teams paying his purse. So I mean, that's how they make their money by these fighters paying sanctioning fees, and that's why it's 3% of their purse. They pay 3% of their purse, and that goes towards them keeping the sanctioning bodies afloat.
Salute to my brother Teach. He said the IBF is the least favorite belt because of rehydration clause. I mean, I can't remember the fight, but there was a fight where the IBF had a guy come in like 20 pounds over the limit. I cannot remember. It was a fight in the 80s, I believe. I'm going to get that for you, Teach. I'll have it for you on Monday. But he came in there and just destroyed the guy. And the IBF said, never again will we let a guy come in this doggone big and just, do what he did. I mean, he pulverized the guy. So I think a rehydration clause is good because I don't know why they don't do same-day weigh-ins. I think same-day weigh-ins should be mandatory in boxing, but for some reason they're not. I think it'll kill this whole cut weight culture that we got because anybody knows. I wasn't on the wrestling team, but I know about football. When you got to cut weight and stuff, man, it makes it very, very hard to be able to perform at your best, man, when you're cutting weight. I know that for a fact. He said,
I used
go
to be
ahead.
a wrestler as well, and yeah, I mean, even when I played Pop Warner, football, you had weight classes for different size. It was before they started doing the age limit. When they used to do it, it used to be 75 pound, 85 pound, 100 and I believe it was like 110-pound players. So you have to have a weight weights to in order to play on a certain scale. But with wrestling, yeah, if you wanted to be in a certain, if you wanted to stay in a certain division, you had to make sure you made weight, or you was moving up to the next division. But I don't think the rehydration clause is a bad thing because it's not like they're doing the weigh-in an hour before the fight. They doing the weigh-in at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So you got all day to rehydrate because the fight is literally 12 hours later. And sometimes
Or more.
yeah, sometimes 14 hours later, depending on what time you're fighting. Because
Yeah.
if you do the weigh-in at 9 o'clock in the morning and you actually don't walk to the ring until 11 o'clock at night, you got 14 hours to rehydrate. If you can't rehydrate in 14 hours to where you feel comfortable, then you might need to get out of that weight class.
I remember, I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but I was watching the UFC with Chris Cyborg where she would do all this stuff to make weight and really almost passed away. I mean, so it's really no joke. My man Bruce said that the IBF gave the belt to Holmes but made Undisputed Hagler fight for the vacant belt. One thing about Marvin Hagler, I think people forget, you see his beautiful smile, handsome fella. You say, man, I bet everybody loved him. Marvin Hagler was probably one of the most vilified fighters to ever box because people hated him. I mean, the man literally changed his name to Marvis because they wouldn't call him Marvelous Marvin. So I mean, I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I do know that the media definitely had a thing against Marvin Hagler. So to hear that he was, done wrong, that's of course that's nothing. Think
Yeah,
about his biggest fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard gave him that fight and wouldn't give him a rematch. I mean,
yeah.
and wouldn't make it a 15. I'll never forget when Marvin Hagler said, "I had to do a 12-round fight. If not, the B wouldn't have took the fight." You talking about Sugar Ray Leonard stuff?
I mean, I mean, I mean, what he wanted to do, a 10-round fight?
No, he wanted to do a 15 round, and they made it a 12 round.
But that's what the A side. The A side called the shots.
Hey, he had all the titles,
You,
free. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. He had all
yeah,
the
he had
titles,
all
bro.
he had all the titles, but he wasn't the A side. Shit, they're going. Holyfield had all the titles when he fought Mike Tyson. He wasn't the A side. Lennox Lewis had all the titles when he fought Mike Tyson, but he wasn't the A side. A side is the A side. They the A side for a reason. People are coming to see that fighter. Yeah, you might be in the ring with him, but they coming to see that fighter.
Yeah, my man T said that's what I'm saying. Most boxers won't go that way if they only have a 10-pound rule. Shoot to my man BC. I would say I think fighters do what all fighters do. They're gonna try to find an advantage, man. If you can come in heavy, they're gonna come in heavy. I don't know if you remember the Anthony Joshua Ruiz fight. Remember how Ruiz was eating a candy bar on the dog scale?
Yeah.
And that was just to say, I'm coming in here big. But think about this. AJ went and fought him the most cowardly way I ever seen the heavyweight champ come in. Like, he really outboxed Ruiz. He didn't bang with him. He didn't do none of the stuff. I honestly say this. Andy Ruiz damaged AJ so much because we'll never see that AJ that knocked Ruiz out the first time. That
No,
knocked him down
no.
the first time.
If you just got finished fighting this guy and he dropped you 4 times and stopped you, you ain't banging with him neither. I don't care how much heart you got. If you just got finished fighting this dude the day before and he dropped you 4 times and knocked you out, you ain't banging with him. You gonna be sticking and moving like a mug. You're not trying to get hit with those shots again.
He's the bigger man. What are you talking about?
Hey, he the bigger man with the weaker chin. It don't matter how big you are. If your chin is suspect, your chin is suspect. You can be 7 foot, 400 pounds with a daggone newborn baby chin. It don't matter.
Brother said a newborn baby.
It don't matter.
He said you need more than one day to rehydrate, but the key word D-Free made was rehydrate comfortably. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't believe in the whole you got to rehydrate comfortably. Salute to my man Scott Walker in the chat. I think it's more important that you come in ready to fight. And one of the reasons I say that is I love how Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs came in there and said, you know what, we're not gonna fight for the IBF title when we go fight Triple G. We're gonna come in a little bit later so we come in heavy. And I will say this. I think the only reason why he got the Canelo fight was because of how Triple G made him look. And I think that had a lot to do with the weight.
Yeah, you got to look at it like this. If everybody had a rehydration clause like the IBF had it, they had it the same exact way. You can't weigh more than 10 pounds more than the weight the day of the fight. You're going to weigh in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you can weigh whatever you want when you walk into the ring. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about weight bullies. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about this guy need to move out of the weight class and all of that, because they have a weight limit. And there's a weight class for a reason. I know we hear a lot of people say that, but literally there's a weight class for a reason. If you fighting at 135, but when it's time to fight, you come in at 165 pounds, you don't need to be at 135. You don't need to be at 135. You're supposed to be at 147 or something. You don't need to be at 135. You got to understand. Do you realize Rolly Romero weighed 165 when he fought Tank Davis? When he came into the ring, he was 165. Tank Davis was 135 pounds. And they was like, Tank Davis was running. Nigga, he was in there with a middleweight. What are you talking about? Tank
I
Davis
think
is 5'5", 135 pounds. He in there with a middleweight. That's like Tank Davis going in there fighting the daggone Jamal Charlo. You think he ain't gonna be moving around the ring? Hell yeah.
the thing about Rolly that people forget, he got beat up by that old man. So people forget this, but the thing about Rolly is that Rolly got some dangerous power. Rolly can put you to bed. So
Yeah, Rolly got power, and then you add weight on top of that.
Oh yeah, my
You
man
add weight.
Skywalker.
You add weight on top of that power. That's even more power.
Hey, it's hard. What do you say? Oh, my man Casey Boy said, I want to know what the hell BBO knows about cutting weight. Oh, you know it's funny. I love it, man. Hey, when you got an 80-year-old man making jokes, man, that's all right, man. You got me on that one, man. But just know, when you get on your scat bus, man, you can't get pushed off that board. So just be careful, man. He said, I get the point. If there was a limit on each belt, people would fight at more natural weight. I'll tell you something I wanted to bring up that you said that was actually very true, Freak. I had to give you some credit, man. When you said David Benavidez is not that big a guy, because Demetrius Andrade makes him look really normal, man. He's not big at all.
He's not that big. No, I seen David Benavidez in person, literally stand right next to David Benavidez. I was like, damn, I thought this nigga was much bigger than that. By me watching him on TV, he looked like he's so much bigger than what he is. When I seen him in person, I was like, this dude is only a couple of inches taller than me, and he really ain't that much bigger than me. And actually, he wasn't bigger than me in size-wise. He was just taller by a couple of inches, because David Benavidez is only like 6'1", maybe 6'2". But his weight is around my weight. I walk around at 195, and he walks around like around 195. So his weight is roughly around the same weight, but he's not that much taller. But when you look at him on TV, he just looked that much bigger than all the other guys he's fighting. And it goes to show you the guys that they fighting are just small. They're not real big guys. They small.
Yeah.
Because I had to think about it. They fighting at 168 pounds. I remember what I looked like when I was weighing 160. I went to New York and I was playing football, and I had lost weight because I normally was walking around at like 185, but I was playing football and I had just got out the military, and I was like 195, but I was cut up. But when I went to New York, I lost weight. I was like 163. I came home. My mother was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What you mean? What's wrong?" She was like, "You look like you ain't been eating." I said, I'm fine. She was like, "You lost a lot of weight." But yeah, I mean, 160 is not 168. 160 is not that big. It's really not that big.
Yeah, I think he might. I think he might be 6'2" at best, and that's not very tall either. But so the whole him saying he's 6'4", 6'3". No, he's not. He's a little guy.
No, he's not that tall.
And I'm telling you, I called it first, and I told my brother Free, hey, Boo was going to beat him to death. I mean, Boo was going to beat him to death. He looked bigger. He looked strong. I mean, you should have seen how Boo Boo looked at that first album. He looked like a monster, man.
I mean, he could look bigger and all that, but when you get in that ring, how do you perform? Because, like I said, we only could go by what his last fight. And his last fight, he didn't look that good at that weight. He didn't look that good.
I'm just wondering, truthfully, man, will we ever see the Boo Boo who was at 154 again?
Nah.
You don't think so?
That Boo Boo that was at 154, you got to remember, he was in his 20s at that time. That man is 36 years old. This man damn near 40 years old. You are not going to see that Boo Boo no more. That Boo Boo is long gone. That nigga Boo Boo done flushed that down the toilet. It's some new Boo Boo coming out now. That ain't the same Boo Boo. That Boo Boo done got flushed. It's some new Boo Boo coming out now.
Hey, the reason I say that, man, is because when you watch him at 154, I understand why only person had enough heart to see him was Jamel, because man, he was a monster. And you know what's funny? I honestly could say he might have slipped a little bit at 160 after me started watching some of his 154 fights. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
he wasn't the same once he left 54. So
no, he wasn't. That's when he was at his best at 154. That's what everybody talks about. When everybody talks about Boo Boo, they talked about Boo Boo at 154. They don't talk about the 160. Yeah, the 160 was still good, but he was nothing like the Boo Boo at 154. The 154 was him at his peak. That's when he was at his peak prime. And that man was slick. That man had power. He had stamina. He was just a problem. And he had the awkward style that you really couldn't prepare for. So he was a problem. That's why a lot of people avoided him. Jamel was like, man, I'm not scared of that dude. We can fight. It is what it is.
You know, it's funny, man. I think Jamel's going to go down, man, as one of the most willing fighters to fight anybody, man. It seemed like it don't matter who it was, man. This Canelo thing might have left a bad taste in people's mouth, but I honestly think it was just one bad performance. What about you, man?
It was exactly that. It was a bad performance. But Jamel, he told everybody, I don't duck nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't duck nobody. I'm gonna fight whoever I want to fight. If they get in the ring with me, we fighting. But it was a bad performance. I mean, he felt the power, and he was like, "Fuck no, I'm not getting knocked out. Hell no, not getting knocked out. You not putting me on that daggone on that highlight reel of all your knockouts. No, I will be somebody that you beat, but I will not be on a knockout reel."
My man, case of voice. I like Boo Boo, but David's gonna beat his tail very bad.
Yeah. I like Boo Boo too, but I just don't think that he's gonna beat David Benavidez. He's more hungry. He's younger. He's 10 years younger, and I think his gas. Well, I know his gas tank is much more filled than his. I just don't think Boo Boo has it anymore to be able to beat David Benavidez. If he would have fought David Benavidez a few years back,
I think
we had something to talk about.
I think the funny thing about what you're saying, it is very true, but I just wondered to myself, David don't have no punching power. And I say that because I've seen people take his punches flush and they don't do nothing to nobody. So I'm just wondering, does he have what it takes to keep a guy like Boo Boo off of him? That's the thing.
It's not the fact of Boo Boo him keeping Boo Boo off of him. Is more so Boo Boo got to keep David Benavidez off of him, because David Benavidez is going to be the one that's going to be coming forward, throwing a bunch of bunch of shots. Boo Boo.
You think he'll try to walk Boo Boo down? I ain't never seen nobody try to walk that dude down.
That's all David Benavidez do is walk forward. He don't do anything else. All he do is walk forward. He's going to come straight at you, and he's going to throw a bunch of shots. He don't know how to do nothing else. You never seen.
He gonna be tailor-made for him there, because one thing you don't want to do is walk Boo Boo down.
Hey, I put it like this. I saw Demond Milkers walk towards Boo Boo, and Demond Milkers ain't nowhere near of David Benavidez. No shot to Demond, because Demond is a hell of a fighter. He got a lot of heart. He got dropped and he got right back up and went right back at Boo Boo. But he ain't on the level of a David Benavidez. And if Demond Milkers can walk towards Boo Boo, David Benavidez definitely gonna walk towards Boo Boo.
I get what you're saying, Free, but you gotta remember, man, he really beat Nichols up. I know everybody talk about it, he didn't like the way he looked, but Boo Boo beat him up, man. It wasn't like Boo Boo didn't beat him up.
He beat him up the first 7-8 rounds, but then the later rounds, Boo Boo was just holding on. He was holding on. That man said, "Hey, stay right here for a second, dog. I gotta catch my breath. Stay right here. Don't move." That man was holding on.
And see, that's the thing that's always been the problem with Boo Boo. Especially, I think it mainly started at 160. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think for the first time, you got guys like him, Jamel Charlo. They're bigger, but their weight class is really 154. I know that's crazy to say that, but I think like Winky Wright said it best. You got to fight when you're comfortable. Like, remember, he didn't look the same at 160 like he did at 54.
I think Jamel and Jamal, I think their weight limit. Jamal might be okay at 68, but because he's the bigger out of the two, the twins. He's the bigger one out of the twins. But Jamel, I think his limit is 160. Yeah, he walks around at 170, 180, but I think his fighting limit is 160. I don't think I don't think he fights well at 168. And it very well could be just the fact that he was in there with Canelo. Canelo just outclassed him. It very well
Mhm.
could be that. But I just think that Jamel is probably better at 160 than he would be at 168.
Hey, you know, one thing we gotta talk about, man, that we haven't got a chance to talk about, man, is are we at the point where we're gonna start to say, will Shakur shut up and fight somebody? Are you at that point yet? Because I just hear him doing all these interviews, and I get that he's about to fight Santos, but Santos is not, in my opinion, Santos is a contender. I would have been more pleased if he would have fought Jermaine Ortiz. What about you? I thought that would have been a better choice.
I can't put that on Shakur, because if you look at the history of Shakur, when he came to 135, he tried to fight Pitbull, he tried to fight Williams Zapata, he tried to fight Lomachenko, he tried to fight Kambosos. He tried to fight the guys that was at the top of the weight class. Those guys didn't want to fight him. So he took De Los Santos, and he even tried to fight Frank Martin. Frank Martin pulled out of that fight. So De Los Santos was the only other guy that was willing to get in the ring with him. Now, I know people say they want to see him in there with Jermaine Ortiz, but I don't think Jermaine Ortiz beat De Los Santos. I think Jermaine Ortiz gets stopped by De Los Santos badly. I think he gets stopped by De Los Santos badly, because
You think
Jermaine
so?
Ortiz.
What
Yeah,
about what he
I
did
think
to Loma? What about what he did to Loma?
you he did that to Loma. Loma doesn't have the power of a De Los Santos, because if you remember, Loma caught Jermaine Ortiz a few times in that fight. If that was De Los Santos, I think Jermaine Ortiz probably be asleep. Jermaine Ortiz can punch. Now, I mean, say what you want. He ain't fought nobody or whatever. Jermaine Ortiz, he got boxing ability, and that man can punch.
You mean
So
Santos?
I meant to
Yeah,
say De Los Santos. De Los
yeah.
Santos got boxing ability, and he can punch. So he might not have fought nobody that you want to see him in there with just yet, but
Mhm.
that man can punch. I think he stopped Jermaine Ortiz badly.
Santos was actually saying that he could break Shakur's neck, and I was I was I was wondering
Hey,
to myself, what do these guys get this new
all
trash
I'm
talking
saying
from?
is, all I'm saying is, if you see Shakur Stevenson getting off the mat like we saw Mike Tyson with Buster Douglas, don't be surprised, because everybody's saying, "Hey, Shakur is gonna walk through this man. Shakur gonna beat him easily. This, and that." He's not on Shakur level. I heard them say the same thing about James Buster Douglas, and we saw what happened with James Buster Douglas. Now we all say, "Hey, with some funny business in that fight," he still knocked that man out, regardless of how we feel. If even if even if it was some funny business on the long count, if Mike Tyson was just that good and James Buster Douglas wasn't that good, Mike Tyson still would have knocked that man out. So I'm not
Yeah,
going to just say that De Los Santos is bad, because I know what De Los Santos can do. He just never
he got
had
some
the
fight. Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
can
he
fight.
hasn't had the only opportunity that anybody actually really paid attention to him is when he fought Rayo. And we saw what he did to Rayo. A lot of people thought that Rayo was going to knock him out. And he
Yeah,
stopped that man. He dropped that man like 3 or 4 times. He stopped that man. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised. I got Shakur winning, but I
hmm
won't be surprised if De Los Santos happen to catch him and Shakur is getting off the mat.
I'm,
I'm not gonna be surprised.
my man T said Shakur will make it look easy 12-0. I said it. Um, I
Okay.
don't know about that because I really haven't seen Shakur in any kind of fights that where I would say, oh, it made it look easy. But you know, one fighter I think is getting treated unfair, man, and I gotta bring this up, is what they trying to do to vilify Keyshawn Davis is horrible, man. They really gonna make this man miss 90 days of his career over smoking marijuana to go to sleep. And we
Hey,
all know, go ahead.
I'm gonna say it like this. I understand it's only marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
but the rules are the rules. Now, what I will say is they need to do it to everybody that pops dirty. Don't give, like Oscar Valdez, don't give him no slap on the wrist and still let him defend his title. he should have been suspended as well. But the rules are the rules. If you break the rules, there's consequences to the rules. Now, I understand some people say, hey, well, he shouldn't have had a no contest, or it should have been either no contest or 90 days. I understand all of that, but the rules are the rules. The sanctioning body can say, hey, this is what, I mean, the Boxing Association can say, hey, look, this is our rule, and this is what we're doing. So I can't knock the boxing council, I mean the boxing association for slapping him with a penalty for breaking the rules, but they need to have it the same across the board. It got to be the same for everybody. If they break the rules, it should be consequences to it. You can't just give one person a slap on the wrist but make another person miss a fight, because he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to be fighting at the end of the year. He was supposed to be having was it at the end of the year or January? One of the two.
Fight, I think it was Zepeda.
Yeah, he was supposed to be fighting Zepeda. So it was supposed to be either at the end of the year or in January. So they making that man miss a fight because of what he did. Rightfully so. I can't tell him that what their rules are. Their rules is their rules. You know what the rules are. You supposed to abide by them. But you got to keep it the same across the board for everybody.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy because now you got people saying that this Keyshawn is considered a drug cheat. I don't agree with that narrative. What about you, man? Him being a drug cheat because he smoked some weed?
Who that?
That's what you got. You got people in the media saying that Keyshawn's a drug cheat now because he failed smoking marijuana.
He's a drug cheat. He's not a PED cheat. There's a difference. Okay. He is a drug cheat. I will say that. He is a drug cheat, but it's not PEDs. It's not PED. Like these other guys, they popping dirty for PEDs. He didn't pop dirty for PEDs. He popped dirty for marijuana, which is a drug that's illegal in Texas. So that's their rules. In Texas, you can't smoke marijuana. So he smoked marijuana and he popped dirty for it. So that's their rules. But he's not a PED cheat, but he is a drug cheat.
Yeah, one person I wanted to bring up, man, that now that I was thinking about this, is I was watching an interview with undisputed champion Tyson Fury, undisputed heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, and he was saying that he might, retire. Man, what you think about the undisputed champion retiring, man?
I don't care nothing about Tyson Fury retiring because he ain't undisputed. He ain't never been undisputed. He never held all 4 belts at the same time to be undisputed. So if he want to retire, by all means, go ahead and retire. You ain't fighting nobody anyway. You fighting UFC fighters that never fought in the sport of boxing before. By all means, go ahead and retire.
Come on, Free. I mean, I get what you're saying, but to have the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion retire, I think it hurt boxing. He's the number one guy. Say what you want. Whoever the heavyweight champion is the number one guy. That's why they made the pound for pound list. So to hear the number one guy is going to be leaving boxing, I just think it'd be a travesty, man, because he got more to do. I think he got more to do. And for him to fight Usyk would be another great win because he only really got 2 great wins on his record. What you think?
I don't see how you claim him as the number one guy and he only got 1 belt. Last time I checked, this is what I see. They gave him the linear title for beating Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder never held the linear title. He never held it. AJ beat Vladimir Klitschko and took all his belts, defended those belts, lost them, got them right back, and defended those belts. But that man was never the linear champion. But everybody said Deontay Wilder ain't this, he ain't that. But Tyson Fury is now crowned the man because he beat the man that everybody said was a horrible boxer. He didn't fight nobody. But now Tyson Fury is the man because he beat him. So I don't know how they got that out of it. So what you're telling me is that Deontay Wilder was the man. If you saying Tyson Fury is the man because he beat Deontay Wilder, then that means that Deontay Wilder was the man.
He was, and the reason, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but Vitaly Klitschko had the lineal belt. Vitaly had the WBC belt and he had the lineal belt. people talk about Vladimir because I would say technically Vladimir is more accomplished. I believe he was a gold medalist as well. But Charlie Klitschko was definitely the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
And
but
he was
who did the Vitaly lose to?
he lost to Lennox Lewis. They actually
Yeah,
gave him that belt for losing, which is kind of different.
yeah. But so he lost to Lennox Lewis. He
Yeah,
lost to
they
Lennox
gave him.
Lewis. Lennox Lewis was the man.
Yeah,
Who beat Lennox Lewis?
out of none of those guys beat him. The two guys that beat him, Rockman and the other guy, he kind
Exactly.
of got those back. But what I'm saying is
Nobody
the
beat that man.
for a while it's been that way where whoever the WBC champion is the lineal champion. I honestly don't know how to put it because you're talking about Tyson Fury, who technically is undisputed because he had all the belts and then he got them all back. I mean,
He never had all the belts. He never had the WBC until he beat Wilder. Never had the
that's
WBC.
what I'm saying.
So
No,
he
that's
didn't
what I'm saying.
have he didn't have the other three when he beat Deontay Wilder.
But he had them before, Freak. You see what
It
I'm
doesn't
saying?
matter. You don't become a undisputed champion because you had the title. You had 3 titles before, and you was missing one, and then all of a sudden you went away for a while. And you come back. Nobody beat you, but you don't have those belts no more. You don't have those 3 belts no more. They took them from you. They stripped you for those belts. So you don't have those belts, and you come back and you win the one belt that you never owned. That doesn't make you undisputed.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. What I'm gonna do, salute to my man G5. I'm a we never get to talk boxing in this is our professional setting, so I'm gonna invite my brother G5 to pull up. We usually don't get to talk. We usually messing around when we talk boxing, but
But
I think you're
like I
being
said,
unfair, Free. You're being
nah,
unfair. I'm gonna tell you
nah.
why you're being unfair because you're talking
Huh.
about a guy who beat Vladimir Klitschko and then he beat a 10-time defending WBC champion. I mean,
So
he's the number one guy. Free, what are you talking about? He's
I,
the number one guy.
no, listen what I'm saying. Was you said the guy that holds the WBC belt is usually the linear champion.
Right.
Do you
That's how
that's
Vitelli. That's how they move with Telly for like
okay?
10 years. So go ahead.
Whatever you say, I give you that argument. I give you that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Russell had the belt for 7 years. He was never the linear champion. He had the WBC belt for 7 years. They never made him the linear champion.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say something, man, and I don't mean this for nothing but respect. When Gary Russell chose to speak against Floyd Mayweather, he really just got blackballed. I hate
When
to
he
say
what?
it. When he spoke against Floyd Mayweather, he got blackballed,
Yeah,
and
he did, but
he got
that has nothing to
blackballed.
do with the linear title.
It
He was
does
never.
because it's boxing. You think if Mauricio Suleiman or you think Ring Magazine would have gave Gary Russell his proper due, you think Floyd wouldn't have threw a fit?
I don't give a fuck what Floyd do. Floyd pays sanctioning fee the same way everybody else do.
But he's powerful. That's the thing. You
What
make it
I don't
you make it
no
seem like
dude,
he's not powerful, man. He's powerful.
he's powerful because y'all give him that power. If you're the sanctioning body, you have rules and you make everybody follow those rules. Nobody is above those rules. That's the problem. Everybody wants somebody to be above those rules. No, the rules are there for a reason. Nobody is above the rules.
I
That's
don't
how I
know,
look at it.
Free. You're not being fair. You gonna tell the cash
No, y'all
cow?
not being fair because y'all want the rules to change for individuals. I want the rules to be the same across the board for everybody. I don't care who it is. I want the rules to be the same for everybody across the board. Y'all want them to
Free,
change for individuals.
It's never been fair. The only place that's fair is where they raise
That's the
pigs,
point that
bro.
I'm making. That's the point that I'm making. Y'all want to change the rules. I'm keeping it the same across the board. I'm the one that's not biased. I'm
He spoke
keeping it the
against
same across
Floyd,
the
bro.
board.
That's what you missing. He said something he shouldn't have said to Floyd, and Floyd took it
And
personal.
that's the very definition of bias. That's the very definition of bias. When you
It
change the
is.
rules for somebody else and you don't keep them the same for everybody. That's the very definition of bias. That's why I keep telling you, I'm not biased towards nobody. I hold everybody at the same standards. That's what
So
I
you
keep trying to
so you
say.
telling me if you was over the WBC or you was over the Ring Magazine belt, you're going to tell Floyd Mayweather Jr., probably the second most powerful man in boxing, hey, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to do what's fair. You think that's going to happen? Seriously?
Yes, yes, it is. If I'm Mauricio Sulaiman, nigga, you gonna follow my rules or you dropping my belt? I give it to somebody else. I don't care. You
Free.
Floyd
You know,
Mayweather, yeah,
you know how
you
much
might be
money he
Floyd.
probably getting off there?
No, that's what I'm saying. Y'all change the rule because y'all just see the dollar signs. Y'all say, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he makes a lot of money. But Floyd Mayweather ain't gonna be in the sport of boxing forever. He ain't gonna be in the sport of boxing. Boxing gonna be here when Floyd Mayweather long gone, and it's gonna be somebody else that y'all gonna say, hey, this was the greatest fighter of all times. It's gonna be somebody else. So if your rules ain't the same across the board, people gonna do whatever they want to do. That's why you keep the rules the same for everybody. So no matter who it is, they gotta follow the rules.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. We can go on and on about this all day, but you don't tell Floyd Mayweather nothing, man. At the end of the
No,
day,
I'm just, I'm just
I
saying that
think
that WBC, whoever holds the WBC is the linear champion. No, that's not true because Deontay Wilder defended that title 10 times. He was never the linear champion. Never.
what I'm saying is, well, this is the thing I'm saying. It's funny how, and this is just my opinion, I don't think Deontay Wilder gets enough credit for what he's done, who he's fought. People try to, say the people he fought was weak or this or that, but he went in there and beat a lot of tough guys. I'm a big Deontay Wilder fan myself, and I've seen him going there against a lot of tough guys. I mean, I think his toughest fight was against, as we all know, Luis Ortiz. And for him to persevere like he did in that fight, come back, get him with a brutal knockout, lose most of the rounds in the second fight, come back with another brutal knockout. I think Deontay Wilder just unfortunately was a little bit too pro. I don't know if you want to say he was
Black.
too pro black or what the case may be,
Too
but
pro
he
black. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was.
I don't know what it was, but
He
I'm
was
just saying he really gets vilified because I never forget this, man. I was watching the Tyson Fury. I was watching the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder one, and I never forget, man. How bad my coworkers the next day was just talking about Deontay Wilder, saying, "How did that bum knock down Fury? They tried to cheat Fury with a draw," and it's like. I honestly, this is because I've only been on YouTube. It'll be a year, and it's at the end of December. We're gonna have a big giveaway too. We're getting close to 2,000. I honestly can say there's a lot of race fans that come behind Deontay Wilder. I don't know what it's about, um, but I think he's done everything right. I do. What about you, man?
Man, Deontay Wilder ain't do nothing but uphold the sport of boxing. He's the very definition of a fighting champion. That man defended his title 10 times against anybody that was trying to get in the ring with him. If you was trying to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, he was letting you get in the ring and he was putting you to sleep. That's what he did. He's the very definition of a fighting champion. That man, he wanted to fight AJ. AJ didn't want to fight him. They wanted Deontay Wilder to jump through all these hoops, try to give him a flat fee. He finally agreed to the flat fee, and they still didn't give him the fight. They said they wanted 50 million. He gave them 50 million. Then AJ told him, I'm not selling my soul to the devil and all this other stuff. That man just didn't want the fight. Now all of a sudden they like, damn, we should have took that fight a long time ago. Yeah, you should have. Y'all would have made so much more money back then. Now you need the Saudis in order to make a big bag off of it. Because a lot of people already got the feeling that Deontay Wilder is going to knock him out, which I already knew that from back when he was trying to fight him. That's the reason why AJ didn't want to get in there with him.
Excuse me, Courtney. I don't know. I don't know if you feel like this, but before Anthony Joshua, man, we were having a problem of getting an English speaking champion. Because Vitaly and Vladimir do not speak very good English. I mean, they speak English, but it's trash. It's horrible. So they're a lot like Gennady Golovkin, where they'll speak a little bit of English and then they'll speak in their native language, which is useless for us. So I think it's kind of funny to see, all the hate. I think the only thing I ever said about Deontay Wilder, I just thought it was such a coward move to make up the lies that Tyson Fury cheated and did stuff to his gloves and stuff like that. I never understood that because Tyson Fury has never been known to cheat like that.
You a
Um,
lie. You a lie. You a lie just like Tyson Fury's a lie. He did cheat it. He
Forget
did
it.
cheat it.
Forget it. Let me finish.
That's not the first time that he cheated with his gloves. That's like the second time that he cheated with his gloves. What are you talking about? He did cheat. You need to go back and do your history on Tyson Fury, and you will see all the time. All you gotta do is go on Google and type in Tyson Fury cheat, and you will see all of the videos of Tyson Fury cheating. That's
But
all
it's
you
the
gotta do.
thing.
Type
It's
in
the
Tyson
thing.
Fury cheat.
He didn't need to cheat though. Free, you know he didn't.
No,
He was the better
he
boxer.
probably didn't need to cheat, but obviously he felt like he did.
I
He
just,
felt like he did.
hey, you my brother, and I love you, man. But I think you're being very, very, very unfair to Tyson Fury to say that he's a known cheater.
No. What, do you not do research? Do you not
You
do
know
research?
I do. Free, you know I go back all the way to John
Obviously
L.
you
Sullivan.
don't if you saying he was not a known cheater. Obviously you don't.
Are you talking about because? Are you talking
because
about because of the meat, the meat he got from that farmer?
no, I'm talking about him cheating. Period.
Are you talking about like
Him cheating.
when the ref checked the glove and then something was wrong with his thumb?
No, it's multiple times of this man cheating. It's documented, and it's not in the United States. He did that with Deontay Wilder in the United States. The times that he was cheating was over in his own country. There's multiple times of him cheating, and they said there's a guy that did that talked to Drew Titan the other day, and this man literally said they do not like Tyson Fury. They don't like Tyson Fury over there. They know that he's a cheater.
Yeah, that's kind of bit. You know, it's kind of sad that because Tyson Fury is a gypsy that they hold that against him, and I think it's unfair, man. I get what you're saying.
Got nothing to do about being and a gypsy. It's because that man is a cheater. Man, it's one thing if you say it's like Deontay Wilder. You could say Deontay Wilder don't know how to box, or Deontay Wilder all he got is power. You can never say Deontay Wilder is a cheater. You can't say that about Tyson Fury. Like Tyson Fury, you'd be like, oh, the only reason why, if he wasn't a cheater, you would say the only reason why he's winning is because he's 6'9" and 300 pounds. You can't say that about him. You say only reason why he's winning is because this man is out here cheating. That's what they say. The man is out here cheating.
Free.
No, it's been multiple times that he's been cheating.
But you said yourself you've seen some great performances by him.
No, I never said that.
No, I take that back. No, that wasn't you. My bad. My mistake. I thought that was.
Exactly. I never said that.
My mistake. I was talking to somebody about that. I would say, I think you got room to talk on what you're saying, but I just would say there are some people that say that before Tyson Fury got onto the drinks and drugs that he might have been one of the best fighters ever. Because I honestly don't believe he's the same guy that fought Vladimir Klitschko. He's not that guy anymore. That Tyson Fury is special. This new one we got now is just big and out of shape and knocking out these bums. I think back in 2000, was it 15? Or I think in 2015 when he first won those belts, I think he was a better fighter than he is now. What about you?
Yeah, he was. He was more of a boxer back then, and nobody ever saw a boxer that size. Like Tyson Fury, I'm not gonna say he's 6'9", because that man is not 6'9". He's not 6'9". But
he's about 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, for him to be his size, you never saw a guy move around the ring the way he did, and he was better than most of those guys because of his size. A lot of those, because that's when the tall heavyweights was just getting introduced into the sport of boxing, because when a lot of the heavyweights was really no taller than like 6'4". They wasn't no taller than like 6'4". But you never seen no heavyweight 6'7", 6'8" in there moving around the ring the way he did. He literally was moving around the ring like a middleweight, but he was 6'7", 6'8". So that's what made him so special as a heavyweight. But when he started doing the other stuff, is what brought him down. And people were like, okay, he's not as good as we think he is, because if you're that good, you don't need to do all this extra stuff. You just go in there and win. And that's what I say about all these guys. If you're that good, there's no reason for you to cheat. if you're that good. They were like, oh, he didn't have to cheat him. He beat him easily. Obviously, he didn't think he could beat him easily because he cheated. He didn't think he could beat him easily because he cheated.
Can I ask you a question? In your mind, can cheating ever be forgiven? If it was a
Can
mistake?
can cheating ever be forgiven?
Yeah.
It depends on the type of cheating that you do. Now,
Like
if
when
it's a ref calling a fight early and they shouldn't have called it, yeah, that can be forgiven. If it's you took some PEDs, yeah, that can be forgiven over time. If you out there and you messing with your gloves to try to knock somebody out, nah, that can't be forgiven because you can literally kill a man in the ring. We done seen people die in the ring.
I think the funny thing that get me about boxing is what you said is true. But will people ever forgive Canelo for eating the wrong meat, for eating tainted meat?
Oh, a lot of people forget it. I mean, they forgave him for it, but they're not gonna forget it. It's over and done with. I mean, you can't say that the man is still cheating, although we have our suspicion because they raised the levels, so we don't know if he's still on it or not because they raised the levels. So you still have those suspicions, but until he popped dirty again, you can't say he's still cheating. You can say he cheated in the past, but you can't say he is still cheating because he hasn't popped dirty. Like I said, you can have the suspicion because they raised the levels. So they only raised the levels because he dirty. So they were like, oh, we're going to raise the level because we don't believe that he would do something like that. So they raised the levels. But so you can still have your suspicions, but you can't say
Well, let
he
me
is
ask
until
you.
he
But let
popped
me
dirty
ask you
again.
this: I know you play football. Were you familiar with how clenbuterol is used a lot in locker rooms to cut weight?
I can't tell you that if it was or it wasn't because I didn't know what clenbuterol was until Canelo popped dirty for it. I didn't know what it was.
Clenbuterol is used a lot in Hollywood, and a lot of your favorite actors use it. It's mainly a big weight cutter. So I honestly
Yeah,
can say I don't know
yeah.
why people
I
give
mean,
Canelo
I
so
know
much
what it
flack
does.
about it.
I know what it does now. I know what it does now. But when I was playing ball, I didn't know nothing about clenbuterol. Like I didn't know nothing about steroids. Period. I knew that steroids existed, but I didn't know like all the different types of steroid. I just thought it was one type of steroid that you take to make you get strong and big. I didn't know that it was a bunch of different types of steroids because I was never into steroids. I never used steroids, so I didn't have to worry about it. So,
Did you play offense or defense?
but huh?
Would you play offense or defense?
I play defense. Well, I play offense too, but I mainly play defense. Like I would play wide receiver. Like if we needed a big play, they would call me in to run a fly or run a post corner or something like that. But I mainly play defense. I was a corner, free safety, and a middle linebacker.
And the reason I brought that up is because that's more of an offensive thing. That's more of an offensive lineman, tight end thing to use clenbuterol to come down the weight. My
Yeah,
man,
basically it makes you be able to cut weight and not lose the muscle. That's
yeah,
basically what it does.
and it does a heck of a job on recovery time. It was times where say you lifting 415 on the bar, one day. Usually you need about 2-3 days of rest because you do that 415 like 20 times. You're talking about really blowing your body out. But on
Yeah.
clenbuterol, you could almost come the next day and still pick up that same weight. My man Case Savoy said that's what I say, man. Canelo didn't eat the wrong meat. BBO, you actually believe that stupid story? Salute to my brother BC said, I forgive those who use the stuff to lose weight, not to gain an advantage. Antibiotic is different. I think so too. I think they should wipe that whole clenbuterol story from Canelo's record, man, because at the end of the day, it sounded like it was just a mistake. The man ate too much of that Mexican steak, and now you
No, he
got
didn't.
cats forever calling him
No, he did
a
not.
drug
No, he
cheat.
didn't.
And this is the
No,
Canelo era. I
no,
think
you're
this is
not gonna tell
crazy.
me that. You're not gonna tell me that he ate some daggone wild beef, and this man is a $300 million man. This man has a personal chef sitting in his house. He is not going to the neighborhood taco stand. He is not going to the neighborhood taco stand. This man has a personal chef. I guarantee you, he got a personal chef at his home. This nigga goes to the weigh-ins and press conference in silk pajamas. You telling me this man is eating at a round the way taco stand? No, he's not.
Hey, you know what? You cold-blooded, man.
Nah,
Hey, anytime I think Free can't bring me no lower, the brother bring me right to the curb, or he'll land the street. So yeah, you can't never Free. He gonna say he a $300 man. He knew what he was doing. I get what you're saying, Free, but I'll say this. What Canelo's done for boxing, man, I really think I got to give him the hats off because supposedly he's not going to fight, the winner of Boo Boo Mexican Monster until September. But if he goes and knocks out Boo Boo, man, after he fights Tommy Mugia, you got to say, man, he just had an impressive career. He just couldn't beat some of the big guys like Bivol and it's funny, or old Floyd. So, and that's the thing that
what it,
always get me
what
is
is
how the
Jaime Maguire? Jaime Maguire ain't nobody. Ain't nobody.
he got like 45 wins or something like that, Free.
So what? That don't mean that don't you tell me his best win. Tell me his best win.
They all against bums, in my opinion.
Okay, so what makes Jaime Maguire such a good name on your resume?
Just because how tough he is, man.
Huh?
He's just really tough, man. I don't know if you
No,
give me
like
any
I
credit
said,
for that.
unless you could tell me that Jaime Maguire is an A-class level fighter, that's not impressing me by you beating Jaime Maguire. That's not impressing me at all. Now, if he go out there and he stopped Canelo, I mean, he stopped David Benavidez, he stopped Boo Boo, he stopped David Morrell. Now you doing something. You doing something because I believe all three of those guys are A-level fighters.
My man,
I believe all three of those guys stopped Maguire.
Well, I don't think nobody beats David Morrell. I don't. I mean, I seen him beat the slushies out of that Indian dude. I mean, I think he's dangerous. He said, my man, his boy said, BBO, they feed that stuff to all the animals in Mexico. And the Mexican health authority said that you would have to eat half a cow for it to show up in your system. Who he fight. Well, I
Right.
don't know about all that, Jason, boy. You rough. My man
I mean,
Anthony said, I was reading an article recently where they were talking about steroids and the delusions of Vince taking elite athletes are not taking it to perform at the highest level. I think at the end of the day, man, if you look at Canelo's record, man, he beat everybody. I mean, I know people want to give Terrence Crawford a lot of credit now for finally beating Errol Spence, but Canelo would beat the curls off of Errol Spence, and we all know that. I honestly could say I don't think Errol Spence is better than Sugar Shane Mosley. I don't. What about you? I
um,
think Sugar Shane Mosley would have beat Errol Spence. What about you?
Earl Spence before the accident, I don't think Sugar Shane would beat him. Earl Spence now, maybe. And I'm saying maybe because I mean, if you really think about it, Sugar Shane, in a funny way, he has a similar style to Sean Porter. He's just more of a boxer than Sean Porter is. But he likes to jump in and out and throw combinations or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
he has a similar style to Sean Porter. Sean Porter was more of a rugged fighter, and
Mm-hmm.
Shane Mosley was more of a boxer. But they have a similar style. Their movement is similar, I should say. Not the style. Their movement is similar. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I think Sugar Shane had a higher ring IQ than Sean Porter, so he might be able to catch Earl Spence was something that Earl Spence wasn't expecting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a fantasy fight. It would be a great fight if they would ever fight in their prime. If we could go back in time and put Earl Spence in his prime and Shane Mosley in his prime, it would be a great fight to see. I don't know. I don't know.
My man T said D Flea is sleeping on Honeymoon Gear. I think so too. I don't know why Flea says the guy who's
You can
got
say
he got
You can say
43 wins. He got 43 wins, Flea.
okay. Put it like this: was what he had 43 wins.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that what's the dude name that fight at 175 that Demetrius Bivol just beat to death. That had 45 wins. What was that dude's name? That's
I can't think of his name. I know I can see his face, but I can't think
yeah,
of his name.
he's the Spanish dude, the Mexican dude.
Martinez.
No, the Mexican dude under
Zito.
Golden Boy.
Zudo.
Zito.
Zito.
They moved Zordo. That's Zordo. Yeah, they moved him the same way they moved Maguire. They was giving him all these fights so he can build up his resume. He got in there with Demetrius Bivol, and Demetrius Bivol beat that man stupid. That man looked like he ain't know how to fight. You like, dog, I thought Zordo could throw. He throw a lot of punches. I thought he was going to be throwing punches. That man Zordo looked like he forgot how to throw a jab. He forgot how to throw a combination. You couldn't tell what he was doing. You like, damn, dog, fight back.
He was in there getting beat up. I'll read this comment. My man Anthony said, and he was saying that fans need to get out of this delusional state, thinking these elite fighters or athletes in general are not taking steroids to be at the top of their game. I've been a big person who said, if you think LeBron James is not taking steroids, you out of your mind. Like, it's a lot of guys that take steroids, man. This is not uncommon. My man, let me see. My man, he said Hamid McGee is like a B+ fighter. Only bad thing about him is his defense. He said Hamid McGee brings offense. He said Spence is a second-rate prime Adrian Bronner. Salute to my man Josh Sanders in the chat. Zerdo. He said, as fans, we're the guys that feel. Hold on one second. I just missed something. Sorry, it jumped on me. He said the issue is that Golden Boy is as a whole, they don't have a ton of fighters in the division that Ramirez and Mugia are fighting, and that's the weak in the division in the sport. He said you ain't lying. Shaking Free. I think Free is being Free, and I ain't gonna lie, Free is like this all the time. So that's what always makes it good. He's that Spanish cat that's gonna be pretty fair, and he's gonna speak, whether it's ill about a black or a Spanish fighter. So that's what make my man D pretty good. But I'll just say this: for him to say that, Hamid McGee, who got 40-something wins, that don't mean nothing. I mean, bro, that's a lot of fights, bro. And one thing about Hamid McGee,
Zordo had 45 wins.
I don't think he got busy like Mugia, man. Mugia be in there bleeding, bro.
Dog, tell me McGee's best fight. Give me his best opponent. Give me his best opponent. Fuck the fight. Give me his best opponent.
All those guys you fought were like, okay, there was.
So you can't tell me that McGee is good by looking at his opponents. So if you saying all his opponents is trash, can you give a fair assessment of the fighter if he's fighting nobody that's good? You can't give a fair assessment of that. That's like me going out here playing against a bunch of guys that never played basketball, and then they like, I'm scoring 40 and 50 points every day. And then you like, oh, D Free, that nigga can ball, dog. I can ball. And then I go get on the court with some niggas that can ball, and I can't make a basket. No,
I get what you're saying. I'll just say this. I'll move on for a second because I'm beating a dead horse with this. I just think we made that. I'll say I'll own it on myself. BDO Boxing made a mistake doubting Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford literally took his belt off and whooped Errol Spence in front of the world. So I can't necessarily go off resume. I got to go off the eye test more because there's nothing that told me Errol Spence would look like he did coming into the ring, and nothing told me that he would get beat to death. I mean, that would, that if you think about it, we haven't seen many executions in boxing, but that was an execution of the highest order. That was one of those beat downs. I mean, where you'll never forget it. I don't care how old you get, you'll never forget seeing Errol Spence bleeding like a pig.
T said McGee was a fighter of the year contender. Do you know that that is a opinion? That's not.
That was a Ring magazine, but he was up for it too. So
and who is his promoter? Who's his promoter? Oscar De La Hoya is his promoter, right?
Yeah, it is.
And Oscar De La Hoya runs what magazine?
He don't run the magazine, but
Oscar De La Hoya runs what magazine?
he don't run the magazine. Free. We not gonna do that. Free.
The
We not
Oscar
gonna.
De La Hoya.
Hey, salute to
So
my man, Boxing Scholar. What's up, bro?
what does Oscar De La Hoya has to do with Ring Magazine then?
Hey, we're not gonna talk about the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. We're not gonna
I'm
talk
just
about
asking,
it.
do he run Ring Magazine? Yes or no?
He owns it. He doesn't run it. You know
Okay,
he don't run it.
okay,
Free.
you can't tell me because he was a contender for Fighter of the Year that Ring Magazine put up there, and his promoter is the owner of Ring Magazine. That means he did something. That's an opinion anyway. You could say, "Hey, this fighter, I believe this fighter was the Fighter of the Year. I believe that fighter was the Fighter of the Year. He believes that fighter is the Fighter of the Year." That's all opinion based. That's not a fact. That a fact is, yeah, he won it, but it's not a fact that was the Fighter of the Year because you believe he's the Fighter of the Year. That's just what you believe. I believe he's the Fighter of the Year. Just like they believe if Devin Haney go out here and beat Regis Prograis, he's the Fighter of the Year. Some people might say, "Hey, I believe Tank Davis is the Fighter of the Year." Some people might say they believe.
Free. Nobody would say that. Free.
You could say nobody would say that, but there's some Tank Davis fans that's diehard fans that would say, "I believe Tank Davis is Fighter of the Year." They're gonna have some Bud Crawford fans that gonna say, "I believe Bud Crawford Fighter of the Year." Those all opinions. Those are opinions.
Let me read this comment, then I want to hear from my man Boxing Scholar. My man Anthony said, what can you blame Mugia or Zotto for not having the competition they need at their division because their promoter doesn't really sign fighters in those divisions? What you think about this, Boxing Scholar?
My bad, bro. My bad. I just
Okay.
for a little bit. I missed it.
No problem. No, so we talking about, Free ain't giving nobody no credit. You know how Free
No,
gets.
all I'm saying is he got to do something. He got to show me something.
With you, but man, coach had this one, man. He had you on the he Fandured you on this one, man.
He Fandured me up.
No, I'm just saying you got to show me something. You can't say because this guy got 40-something fights and that means he's good. If you can't tell me his best fight, the best competition he fought, if you can't say, "Hey, yeah, that dude right there, yeah, he showed me something when he beat him," but you tell me the best fighter he fought is trash, so that means the rest of them is worse than the best one that he ever fought. Come on now.
So
hey,
look, I gotta say this as my opening statement.
You sound too far from the mic. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I got to start off like this, man. I got to say this. Look, I fuck with BBO don't fuck with me. So if I say that, you know what I mean? They want to associate your opinions with mine. I'll be saying some. I name them names. You remember Mike Tyson? Name them names, man. I be saying names. So let me say that. You know, they my homies. You know what I mean? My opinions is my own. So I say this. What he said about that Ring Magazine, 100% true. You know what Ring Magazine remind me of? It remind me of The Source. You remember The Source used to kind of be like the Bible of music, but it lost its reputation when it started holding grudges, playing favoritism. Like Don King, there was a scandal, bro, where Don King literally went to the owner at the time of Ring Magazine and bribed him and got him to make ranked fighters and say that they fought people that they didn't fight. Floyd Mayweather Sr. was one of those fighters. And then it was like a big federal investigation. And then later on, Oscar would go over there and try to get a little bit of that corruption too. So yeah, man, the Ring Magazine, it ain't been credible in years. It's been fighting to get its credibility that it had back, but it'll never be that. Like once you know how trust is. Once you crumble that shit, you can't get that shit back, bro. They sold their integrity and then they sold themselves to Oscar De La Hoya to promote it. It's a conflict of interest. You know what I mean?
Boxing Scholar, you my brother, but for you to talk about our Bible of boxing and such
Your
a
Bible,
crazy...
not ours. Ain't no ours. Don't put me in that category. That's your Bible. Don't put me in that category.
No. All they said was our religious Bible, dude. I said this
no.
is
You
our
said
Bible
our
of boxing.
Bible. You said our Bible. Yeah, you
it's
said
our Bible of boxing.
It's not ours. It's yours. That's not my Bible of boxing.
Yeah, it's just like nostalgia at this point. You know what I mean? It's like the Power Rangers or some shit. Like, yeah, it used to be something at one point, but it ain't the same. It don't hold the same meaning. Like it went down. You know how the value of a dollar go down every year? That shit just plummeted in 1 year. It never came. It's Bitcoin.
Ring Magazine value go down every month.
Yeah, that shit like
go down every month.
It's Dogecoin at this point. It was popular at one time, but shit, it ain't no more. But it's media's changed from now to back then how it was.
Yeah,
It
for
was
sure.
they relied on it heavily, and then now it's like, we got the internet. We can watch all the old fighters. We don't have to read about them in ring magazine. We can actually watch their videos. So it's changed. Media's changing. Like I said, they lost their credibility. How are you still gonna have credibility and you owned by a man who owns a promotional company in the sport? That's like a conflict of interest. So yeah, I can't even fuck with Ring Magazine at this point. I'll be looking at their pound for
Yeah.
pound ratings and stuff. I'm just like, I'd be disgusted with it. But I say all that to say this. Now, what you did make a good point is, whoever say Tank is a pound for pound fighter, that lost their motherfucking mind. Now they can say he got pound for pound skills. Nobody would doubt that. That man, he got talent. But one thing about boxing is we done seen a whole bunch of talented motherfuckers come through boxing and not pan out. You know what I mean? We didn't like. I remember yesterday. Me and my homeboy was talking about like that whole '90s heavyweight group. They had what's that dude that Mike Tyson? Terrell Biggs. Terrell Biggs had medaled and everything. He had a whole bunch of talent, but he just never panned out. The '90s probably to me is one of the worst. Like they had the most potential to be the best heavyweight era, but they never lived up to it, whether it be drugs or just fucking them. Like Buster Douglas was good, you know what I mean? But he just never panned out. He was just good
Well,
for that
he
one night.
did
He was
Boxing
gone.
Scholar because I don't know. So we got to echo. I think he did pan out because he became heavyweight champion. When you become a champion, undisputed champion, he kind of panned out. I mean, did he have a long run like we wanted? No,
No,
but
man. That man was a heavyweight title holder. That man lost the belt the very next fight.
Cambosis. He was the Cambosis before Cambosis.
Yeah, he was the title holder. He lost the belt the very next fight. He wasn't no champion. A champion is when you defend the title at least one time. You got to defend it at least once. But you just winning the belt and you lose it the very next fight, you a title holder.
hey,
Now,
I'll say
what I will say, I have to disagree slightly with Boxing Scholar. You said Tank Davis is not a pound for pound fighter, but he has pound for pound skills. Well, the very definition of pound for pound is I believe I would take this fighter and his skills and fight this fighter and his skills at the same size, whatever weight class it is, and I believe this fighter will win, or I believe that fighter will win. That's what the pound for pound is. Now you could say he hasn't fought nobody very well. I have no argument with that. That's your opinion. You believe he hasn't fought nobody, by all means. But when you look at pound for pound, you say this skill set versus this skill set. If they were the same size, who will win? That's what the pound for pound is based off of.
well, I'll say that. That's hey, go ahead, boss. That's absolutely fucking shit, Free. But go ahead,
Nigga,
boss.
that is what it is.
I'm gonna make
No,
it.
it's not.
I'm gonna make it.
Yes, it is.
So that's literally what he said. What he said is true. What he said is true, BBO.
What are you talking
about?
about?
I say this, BBO. Also, you know what I mean? Who you use your skills against show us how good your skills is, because it's levels to this shit, right? Like
No.
Deontay Wilder, before he fought Luis Ortiz, he was knocking out Uber drivers. He had the janitors. He had all them people that he was knocking out. So we couldn't really gauge his power because we like, bro, shit. BBO with the right amount of training could knock them motherfuckers out. Trevor, look. I know Trevor Bryan, he going through his shit right now. But if you go look at Trevor Bryan's record, he got 3 fights knocking out the same dude 3 times, bro.
Yeah, that's why I said I slightly disagree with you. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I said I slightly disagree because of the way you said it. Now, if you believe he got pound for pound skills, you got to have him on pound for pound level. I mean, you got to have him on a pound for pound. Now, I'm not putting nobody on a pound for pound if I don't think you got pound for pound skills. You're not going on a pound for pound. I don't believe you beat nobody on my pound for pound, so I can't put you on there. But if I believe that you can beat somebody that's on my pound for pound, you're on my pound for pound.
You know what I'll say? Salute to my man Anthony. He said Charlo's been he's been undisputed at 154 and not defending. I mean, he was injured, so you're gonna get. I mean, do I think they should have stripped him? Yeah, they should have stripped him, but they didn't. I mean, the whole thing about franchise is who is the moneymaker. When you're a franchise champion, so to speak, in boxing, that's just their way to protect the A side. It's just like those stupid rules in football where you can't breathe on a quarterback or it's a 15-yard penalty.
No,
it's just
no,
listen. Hold on, let me finish. What I'm saying is, it's just something to protect their stars, because what you keep having happen is a lot of these stars, so-called stars that get popped up, they really are just paper champions. They be getting beat to death. I mean, think about it. Tank Davis is already in his 29th fight, and you can't say he's even fought anybody that was a live dog other than a small
Wrong,
Leo Santa Cruz.
wrong, wrong,
What?
wrong. Because his first title was a live dog. What are you talking about?
Okay, Pedraza, okay.
And he was the underdog, literally the underdog. He was literally the underdog. So that was a live dog. But no, what I was about to agree with you, but the you said he said that Jamel Charlo never defended his title. Neither did Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford been undisputed twice and never defended his title. It's different when you're undisputed because undisputed means you're collecting all 4 titles. So you've been a champion and you've been collecting the other belts. So it's different with undisputed. You just haven't defended undisputed. You're not just a title holder. You're undisputed. You have all 4 belts. You're not just a title holder. Now, when you're just win a title and you lose the title, that's a title holder. That's a title holder. That's why it's different because you're a champion and you're collecting the other belts. So you're already a champion because you're collecting all of the other belts. So that's that you're not considered a title holder because you don't defend undisputed. You're just undisputed that you didn't defend it.
Marshall Scott, let me ask you. I love when you break fighters down. Can you tell us just real quick? I know this is a little off brand, but how good was Rocky Marciano? This is random, but I just want to know how good was Rocky Marciano?
There they go. That's they one. Nah, he was good. He was good. When people say Rocky Marciano is overrated, it just depends who you ask. If you asking somebody who gonna put his career in proper perspective, then he was a great fighter. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, probably one of the most overachievers of all time because he was a really, really small guy, shortest reach. You know what I mean? Short reach, even for a short guy. He had short reach. He didn't weigh a lot. And they say, oh, yeah, he beat those guys past those primes. Them fighters past their primes was some bad motherfuckers. They were still knocking people out way past their primes. You know what I mean? Ezra Charles was still a cold, bad motherfucker world past his prime. But yeah, Rocky, one thing you can say about him is he beat everybody that was in front of him. He overachieved throughout his career. And every time he got knocked down or he was on the ground, he got up and won the fight. Spectacular fashion. So those 3 things, man, Rocky's good. It just depends who you ask. He's either greatest heavyweight of all time. That's laughable.
I think you had some, man. I think you had some on the end. But the reason I asked you about it is because I feel like you don't get enough credit, man. Because one thing about Rocky, man, he took on some tough fights, man. I think he was only like maybe 175, man. I don't think he was anywhere near like heavyweight, you know.
I think it was 180, I believe. I don't know. I could be wrong. 180, 185, I think. But yeah, he was definitely an overachiever. I think BVO, it depends who you ask. You ask the black person, let me keep it real. You ask the black person, they're gonna say Rocky was above because they looking at his style, it ain't flashy. You know what I mean? He fighting from a crouch, you know what I mean? And he coming up and then he looks like real. He don't fight really like smooth, you know what I mean? Like it's like a broken rhythm type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like and so somebody that don't like finesse, that likes finesse, I mean, would look at Rocky like a rugged throwback fighter and outdated. So they might underrate him. If you ask a white person, shit, they're gonna say Rocky is probably the best of all time, or at least top 5. So it just depends on who you ask.
I feel like Deontay Wilder was a lot. I don't know what's going on. That's me on my echo. Let me fix that. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Deontay Wilder is a lot like Rocky Marciano. When I say as far as how he's able to find that delivery for that right hand. The person that I've only seen one guy kind of fight like Rocky, and that's Canelo. You know, he want to beat your shoulders up, your hips, your chest. I mean, I really don't. You don't even see people fight like Rocky Marciano because that take a lot of energy to fight like that, man. And my man Anthony said the Great White Hope, bro. At the end of the day, man, that's just BS, bro. To say that, and that's the problem in boxing. And I don't know. This is BVO saying this. I don't understand how black people say. They want fairness or they want that, but they quick to say, "Oh, he's white, so he don't get this." Get out of here, man! Like Jack Dempsey would have beat a lot of your favorite fighters to death, bro. Like there's some guys you couldn't beat, but he was a monster, man. That's the type of stuff I don't get, man. You ever get offended by how they talk about some of these great fighters, man?
I mean, shit. You got to remember, boxing is a tribalist sport, so everybody gonna look and identify with what they identify with, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So you gonna get that. You just gotta cut through that shit. You know what I mean? Jack Dempsey he was a good fighter, but I ain't gonna lie. Rocky Marciano I rate way higher than Jack Dempsey, but I think Jack Dempsey is overrated. I don't think Rocky's overrated. I think Jack Dempsey's overrated for the fighters that he fought at his time, and then the cheating that he did against Just Willard. Like I
Hmm.
remember Freddie Pacheco was talking about that, and he said
Hmm.
he's a they call him the fight doctor, and he
Yeah.
said that if you go look at the damage, and he said he done been around Mike Tyson, George Foreman, the hardest punches at Ron Lyles. He said he's never seen damage like that, and he started talking about how that dude skull was fractured and stuff. He was like, yeah, Jack. He said in his profession, if he had to just
Hmm.
talk about his profession, he said he's never seen damage like that, and he said he probably think that Jack Dempsey probably did cheat. And Jack Dempsey would say that he's not fighting black fighters because they was inferior. And so he got a lot of asterisks for me to really rate him that high. I remember watching a film of Customato breaking down. It's Customato and Ali, and they breaking down how would Ali would do those styles and stuff. Customato said Jack Dempsey was overrated and Ali would eat him up. But he said Rocky would give Ali trouble and he might knock him out.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I give you got to remember I'm from Ohio too, so I give Jack Dempsey a little credit. That's the first $100 million man, and he's from Toledo. He kind of put Toledo boxing. People don't know he kind of put Toledo on the map for what he was doing in boxing. And I'll just say, yeah, what you're saying is true because Jack Dempsey himself said he ducked Sam Langford. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think some fighters, and it's the same thing with Floyd Patterson. Some guys are just made to look very good. I mean, and some guys are actually good because I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a guy get put to the canvas as much as Floyd Patterson, man.
So
But
I
people
think
still say he's a great fighter.
I
Go ahead.
think I think I think a lot of those guys get a lot of downplay because of black murderous role. There was a lot of black fighters that they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to fight those guys. So it's kind of hard to say how good these guys really is. And that they very well could have beat those guys, but they didn't want to fight them for whatever reason. They didn't want to fight those guys, and that's why there was black murderers row. Those guys only can fight each other because none of the white guys wanted to fight them. So that's why I think a lot of times those fighters from back in the day get a lot of downplay because of black murderers row. If those guys would have just went out there and fought them, we probably wouldn't be talking about them the way we talk about them, because you can't. I mean, the facts are the facts. You say, hey, I don't think that guy is that good. Well, he beat that guy. Well, yeah, he did beat him. I can't argue with that. So when you leave that opening there, it ain't really nothing you can argue about it because they didn't try to fight him. If they would have went ahead and fought him, then you could say, okay, yeah, this guy was better because he beat him.
You
I
got
mean, you can say that, but we see. I don't know. Somebody got me on their camera or something. I would say I don't know. I can't say that free because when you think about like Black Motors World and all that, a lot of these great fighters, man, it really just they really just some of them ain't get their opportunity. Um, like you think about Jack, people talk about Jack Johnson, saying Lanford, from what they say from the records, actually beat him, and they just gave it to him. So, and then he never fought him again. But I don't hear nobody ever bring up about how Jack Johnson, who was actually the first slick fighter, how he ran from Sam Lanford. And it's just like it's weird, man. Boxing is a weird sport where you really, I think we got to do a better job of archiving our history, man, because some of these stories you get from these fighters, man, it be complete BS. Like, like, come on, man, like it just be complete BS. Just like Dr. Boxer Scholar was saying, that stuff that Jack Dempsey was doing on the cheat. I mean, truth be told, he would have been arrested for doing that now. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man, because boxing is such a dog eat dog sport. I love this sport, but I really hope at some point we get a sanctioning body. What you guys think about a sanctioning body to oversee boxing as a whole?
nah.
Never gonna happen. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
BBO, could you hear my mic setup? I might got. Do I got an echo?
Yeah, you got an echo.
Could you hear my mic settings and hit that cancellation?
Okay. Oh, okay, I got you. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, and it's never gonna happen because it's too many people got their hands in the pot. Like you literally are cutting people. Like you cutting people's pockets off because you make one governing body. That means these sanctioning bodies not going to be getting the money that they used to get, or they're going to be getting they're not going to be getting money at all because there's only going to be one champion instead of being four different champions trying to fight to become the one champion. That's the reason why everybody is screaming for undisputed, because they wanted to be just one champion, so we know who's the best in the division. And in order for you to be the champion, you got to beat that man that has all of the belts. He has all the belts. You beat him, you're the champion. Instead of the belts being split up, you beat him, I'm a champion. But that man is a champion too. That man over there is a champion too. You don't know who's the champion because there's 5, 6 different championship belts.
See, when they say boxing is corrupt, I don't believe boxing is corrupt, man. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe it's corrupt, because we're the only sport that you can come into the sport and really become the number one guy off your talent, not off what somebody think about you, not off what somebody said about you. Salute to my man. Josh said Marvin Hagler never got a title shot to like 40-something fights. Quote me if I'm wrong, OG Free. My man Ant-Man said, I talked to D on other panels about this. He caused me to back away from a line of thinking peace as a fantasy. It's never going to happen because the sport's too corrupt. My man Casey Boy said, yes, the sport has always been corrupt and always will be. He said we need to eliminate these
Yeah. Now, what I will
designations
say
like
is,
super and regular franchise.
what I will say is that is not true. You can be the best talent out there, but you don't get pushed. Either you don't have the right promoter that's backing you, or you don't have the sanctioning body that can make money off of you. Like, sanctioning body do care about how much money you bring into these fights. That's why they will push you to get into a title fight if you're a big money maker. They'll push you to a title fight. Why you think Lomachenko got a title fight, his second fight in his career? And then he turned around and got another title fight after he lost that one in his third fight. They wanted Lomachenko to get money. I mean, they wanted Lomachenko to be the champion because they thought they could make money off him. He's a 3-time gold medalist. They thought they could make money off of him. So it all depends on who you got backing you in order for you to grow in this sport. Yeah, you got to have skills as well, but it's not solely on your skills, because you can be the best fighter, but if you don't have the right promoter, you ain't going to get no fights. You can ask for them, but if you ain't got the right promoter, they can freeze your ass out and you don't get no fights.
Well, when you talk about Loma, that's a special case. That's a guy who kind of already was professional, to be honest with you, man.
No, he wasn't.
When you fight all those fights like that, in my
No,
opinion,
that man was a grown-ass man fighting teenagers.
my man Casey Boy said, I would say that about Loma. He said you could actually happen if fighters got together and started to GoFundMe and put $1,200, $1,500 each for the next 5-7 years to open up a promotion or a sanctioning body. Muhammad Ali already did that, and it got stolen from him, so it won't happen. Muhammad Ali, when he started Top Rank with Herbert Muhammad and his personal lawyer, Bob Arum, somehow Bob Arum was able to snake Ali out the deal. So
it wasn't no somehow. Bob Arum was the lawyer. He knew how to put that shit in writing to get him up out of that deal.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I was wrong how they did Ali on that one. That's all I'm saying. That's
what you get when you deal with Bob Arum.
And then when he came back with Don King, and we don't want to speak ill about Don King. Don King's a family man that was married 51 years.
You don't. I don't see it. I don't live in Ohio, and even if I did, I don't care.
Hey, Free, let me just tell you this.
Don't get mad at me, nigga. I'm here telling the truth. If somebody else should have told you this. Don't get mad.
Hey,
that's all I'm saying. I'm just telling the truth. Don't get mad at me, nigga.
Hey, I'm just trying to tell you about the great Don King. Don King is a beautiful brother, man. He's he's tirelessly worked in the Cleveland area around the world to make people's lives better. But when he decided to do his promotional company, he did not keep Ali in the even though Ali got him started, he found a way to cut Ali out, and it's the same thing. So I don't think fighters can ever really have their own promotional company other than Floyd. He said, BBO, who wins this fight? Prime Sugar Shane versus Bud Crawford at 147. I think Bud Crawford would break Sugar Shane's neck at 147.
I don't think he'll break his neck. I think he probably will beat him because Sugar Shane at his best was at 135. That's when Sugar Shane was at his best, was at 135.
Didn't he be at 154?
He at his best was at 135.
I don't know, man. I gotta disagree with that. I would say where he looked against Oscar at 54, he looked terrific. He said, "Isn't
you can look good." I ain't say he didn't look good. I said at his best. You can look good.
Oh, you think he was at his peak of his powers? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, at his best, he was at 35. That's when he was stopping everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he just was laying people out. He was baptizing people back then. He said, "Isn't a track record of Don ripping off his own fighters? Isn't it? No, that's bullcrap. Don King never ripped off anybody. With Don King, no, we're not gonna speak ill of Don King. What I'm gonna say,
you ain't. I am because he did.
No, he didn't.
I know for a fact he did.
Free, you saying the wrong thing. Don King never ripped anybody off. What Don King would do, he never would say no. So if you ask Don King for something, he's going to give it to you. The thing is, once you get paid, what you might have thought was a gift came out of your money. So if Don King got your girlfriend a new apartment, bought your girlfriend a house for you, that's coming out your money. So I don't know. I think Don King get a bad rap because of his skin color, man. Don King has done nothing but try to improve young men's lives through boxing. He made Mike Tyson the richest boxer to ever live until Floyd Mayweather came. Let's remember this. Because of Don King, Mike Tyson had $300 million in the late 80s. He was the richest of the richest back then. We hear about billionaires and
you do realize the Great White Hype was based off of Don King.
Yeah, I thought that movie was very racist and crazy. I thought that was just horrible to try to paint Don King as some type of villain when he's done nothing. That
was true stories.
No, it's not free. You can't. You guys got to remember Don. You got to remember Don King is a special brother, and my co-host is Puerto Rican, so he don't understand how important Don King is to our history. Man, he's a beautiful brother. He said, "Isn't a check?" He said Mike Tyson averaged on a mouth when he retired. Said Don was skimming money off the top before Mike got his cut. If Mike had $1 million purse, he would actually get $250,000. Well, so if he's skimming off the top, that's not stealing, man. That's just getting a little.
But that's stealing.
That's getting a little taste, man. So he would.
No, that's stealing. Taste. No, I'll tell you what. You skim off the top with a drug dealer, and you tell me if he think you stealing or not.
We're not talking about that, free. He said,
"You said it's not stealing."
He said Don King had a bad rap because of Mike Tyson accusing Don of robbing him. The thing was, Mike Tyson gave his money to the broads. He bought cars and left them in cities. Mike Tyson was one of the richest guys in the country. People don't understand. There wasn't no billionaires like that in the 80s. It was maybe one or two, but it wasn't many of that. So when Mike Tyson came along, I mean, he was the richest of the richest. Richer than Eddie Murphy, richer than any of those guys that he would run into. So he just spent that money, man. And you can't blame a family man like Don King for what he did with his money. Let's not forget, Don King was actually chased around his car where Mike was trying to beat him up real bad.
Did you just say there was nobody rich like that when Mike Tyson was making money?
I'm talking about the cash. I'm talking about cash, having that kind of money cash. He had $200 million cash at the time. I'm talking
about cash in the bank. Cash.
If you read about that time, I read about. I got a Forbes magazine from back then.
Now,
and Mike Tyson by far was the richest.
you might have skimmed through that and didn't read it carefully or didn't pay attention to the words because they probably said athletes. They didn't say people. They said athletes.
No, he
Because
had he had $300 million in '88. So if we probably add that with inflation, that's probably almost $1 billion now.
No, I understand what you're saying. He had $300 million in '88. But what I'm telling you is you had all of these corporations out here. They're
No, I'm talking about as
owned
a
by
person. I'm talking about a person, not.
and I'm telling you, the corporation is owned by a person. There's one person at the head of the corporation. There's one person who owns it. He has a corporation, so he can for the taxes and all that. There's a tax break, and they break it up differently when you have a corporation. But there's one person that actually owns it, like Microsoft. That's a corporation, but there's one person that actually owns it. Like Apple, that's a corporation, but there's one person that owns it. That's what I'm talking about. You got people out there, the people that write those checks. Those are the people that got the money. Like,
but when they get big like that, they usually give it over to a board. Is what I'm saying.
No,
so
what
I'm saying is the board becomes.
There was a lot of people that had $300 million in '88. It just he probably was probably the first person or the only person that had $300 million as an athlete, not as a person in the United States, because Bill Gates was worth billions in '88. He was worth billions in '88. People that own football teams was worth more than $300 million.
No,
back in '88.
What I'll say is that I didn't mean literally. What I mean for the celebrity class, for a black celebrity in '88, he was clearly one of the richest. That's what I
as an athlete, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was one of the richest. He was pretty rich for that age. He said Don King did some snake stuff back in the day. He said I didn't have a lot of Cuban or Dominican fathers growing up, so that's why I gravitated to the hands of Stone, Jesus, Golden Boy, Tito, Lopez, Miguel Cotto, and Canelo. He said, "Hey, yeah, Donald Trump had money back then. He did. All I'm basically saying is for the social class that Mike Tyson was like super rich for a black athlete back then. You talking about he probably was the richest black athlete back then. That's before Michael Jordan got that exorbitant amount of money. I'm saying he really was one of the richest guys out there. And what happened with Mike really was he spent all his money up, and it's a travesty. A family man, God-fearing man like Don King gets blamed for this kid blowing his money. I just think it's crazy.
No, Don King contributed to him blowing his money, as well as Mike Tyson spending his money unwisely. So it's not just Mike Tyson. Don King had something to do with that as well. I'm not going to say it was solely on Mike Tyson. I'm not going to say it was solely on Don King. They both had a part in it. Like Mike Tyson had his legal issues that he had to deal with. He had his partying that he was dealing with. But Don King was also stealing money from Mike Tyson as well.
Come on, Free. I don't want to say a family man like Don King is stealing money.
I don't care what you want to say. Mike Tyson said the nigga stole money from him, and the nigga stole money from him. I don't care what you want to say.
All I can say is this.
Mike Tyson.
What I'd say is this, murder. It's us Ohio boys. You know how we get. You know how us Ohio niggas get out, nigga. Ohio nigga, double O. What's up, yo? Yeah. Columbus, Akron, Cleveland, Springfield, Dayton, Youngstown. What's up, y'all? Cincinnati too. I forget about you. You know I love y'all niggas.
You know what I just thought of? Free. You got that whole Nino Brown thing going on today. That's probably why you talking so bad about Don King.
I'm just saying, the man. I'm going by what that man said. That man said he stole money from him.
Salute them on. Hey, 88 Sports. I got you this weekend in fantasy football. I'm about to kick your head and then overtake G5 and take G5 for a leaderboard. I'm actually number two.
All I'm saying is sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
With that boy appreciate. It was the light-skinned brother from the bank. That's who did it. The light-skinned brother from the bank. He said, and also a lot of us forget half of these boxers didn't go to college or finish high school, so they didn't have experience with financial literacy. That's what ended up broken the end. That's true. I mean, like when people say Floyd Mayweather can't read and all that goofy stuff, when did Floyd go to school?
Cool.
When did he go to school? Floyd didn't go to school. When did he ever go to school? But I'll say this. We got a lot of big things going on coming up. Me and your boy D3 is working hard. I got a bunch of fighters that been hitting me up directly. They want to come on here. They want to hear me talk. They want to hear D3 talk. And you know what? I want everybody in the chat to know this.
They want to come in here and set BBO straight. They hear all this bullshit he talking.
I got fighters blowing me up. We're gonna have 2 fighters next week coming up. I'm gonna give you guys more information as we get there. But if you want to hear unbiased boxing talk from your boy BBO Boxing, from your boy D3, you know, we give you unbiased, unrated, you know, boxing talk where, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. We just try to give it to you real. He said nobody want to hear you. This is a funny thing. It's funny because I hear people say I like Teofimo Lopez. I want to address that now. I'm not a Teofimo Lopez fan. I just get a guy credit with credit stuff. So I want to say that. So, you know, free advice for me. I'm not a Teo fan. I don't have a favorite fighter, but I do give people credit where credit's due. And this is and I got to keep track of this because my man Free said I bring up Teo every live. I didn't bring up Teo nothing to the end of this.
You just did.
I did. To address some propaganda that you out there putting out there.
You just brought him up. You was doing good until you brought him up.
Hold on 1 second. So I'm hoping, guys, that we're gonna have my man J-Ro, who is a amateur fighter, fighting out of Mississippi right now. He is I think he has 74 fights. So he's actually getting ready to turn pro. So we got a guy we got coming up. So we got some big stuff coming up. Let's get my man D3 to 1,000 subs, man. And we got to admit, even though my man D3 says the craziest stuff on the internet, man, the brother's entertained. The brother's entertained. You want to hear my man D3 laughing, having a good time, man? This is where you find it on the Road with the Punches podcast. He said BBO just called him Nino Brown. He said, BBO, you about to take an L. Sorry, fam. You know what? They say that about the black man. They've been saying it for 400 years, man. You've been wrong every time.
But man, always catching L's.
Y'all just see me really cook free that last episode, man. He got the sleeves off of it.
I just got finished watching it. You need to go back and watch it again.
What happens is this: when we get these moderators on, Free tries to mess with the moderator and tank their vision and get them off track. I just realized that you got to watch Free. Free be trying to con these moderators, man. We got to watch.
I'm gonna tell you what I do. I kill you with your own words. That's what I do. I kill you with your own words, because I don't think you know this about me. I don't forget anything. So when you say something, I remember what you say, and then when you come back and say something different, I'm gonna catch you with your own shit. I'm like, oh, you just said this, man. You saying this? I catch you if you go back and look at the joint we did with G5. Look at the joint we did with the girl you brought on the very first one we did. Look at the joint you did with Kwee. I catch you with your own shit every time you say something.
The one we did with the one girl Maya, she's supposed to be coming back soon. With the one we did with her, I totally took you because she wasn't biased. But when we got on there, my brother G5, when it
didn't take nothing. That's why I say I want to have a debate. We're gonna do it on Knockout Channel, and we can have judges. We can have the whole chat do their vote, and we can have the judges, and we can say, okay, yeah, this D3 won.
I feel that, but I'm a part of one of the best podcasts there is. That's the Road with the Punches podcast. So I want our fans to see it. We ain't worried about other YouTube channels. We worried about what we doing over here, man. Because unlike most, Me and my brother D Free, man, we coming for the #1 spot. We watching you boxing boys. We coming for that spot. So we here. We not here to play around. We not here to watch each other talk. We here to get some money. So when I cook D Free live like clams, I don't want nobody to miss it. We're gonna have that
BBO,
Vegas.
BBO, I'm gonna do like the Italians. I'm gonna have you swimming with the fishes.
Salute to Tay. They what she say. Salute, fellas. Can't sleep. Wanted to say hey. Have a blessed night. Salute to the chat. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this, Ree. You really making a mistake, bro, because you gotta remember, man. If you look at resumes, and this is not me being biased, Tio got the best resume under 147, bro.
Tio has the best resume where?
Under 147.
No, he doesn't.
Who got a better resume than under 147?
Josh Taylor.
Oh, Tio picks off of him.
I didn't say he has the I didn't say he won every against everybody on his resume. I say he has the best resume. Resume is who you have on it. That's what a resume is. Now you want to say accomplishment, you could possibly give it to T.O. You could possibly give it to T.O. But when you say resume, it's who you have on it. That's what the resume is. Who you got on. When they say, let me see your resume. You put down what you got on your resume. What you got on there. I fought this person. I fought that person. I fought this person. I fought that person. I was undisputed champion. I fought that person. I fought that person. That's what the resume is. Now, you could possibly say T.O. got better accomplishments. You beat Josh Taylor. You could possibly say he got better accomplishments. That's all. You got an argument there.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this, man, before we get out of here. To see LeBron James at 100 years old having to carry this team is sickening. I've been a Lakers fan since 1996, man. And the fact that we got this bum dude, Anthony Davis, but we got to get this bum out of here. He is trash.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's not Anthony Davis' fault. They don't be going to Anthony Davis, dog. I be sitting there watching them go up and down the court, and they don't go to Anthony Davis. I'm like, dog, y'all got one of the best power forward / centers in the game, and y'all not using them. They will literally go up and down the court like 5 or 6 times without giving that man the ball. I don't know what the fuck is y'all doing.
Hey, when my brother Joe, what you just said in this chat was straight evil, case of boy. He said, look like Josh looked like he had Magic Johnson in that last fight. You rough, bro. But just keep in mind, it's your boy BBO. It's your boy D3, a.k.a. the Oscar De La Hoya hater, man. It's the Roll with the Punches podcast. And we're going to be back probably this weekend. We probably got a show tomorrow, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you follow me and you follow my brother D3. You trying to get him to 1,000, trying to get me to 2,000, man. Support us. Peace.
Peace.
Bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BBO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BBO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, shit, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and facial rival. This ain't a little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken and get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef? I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking, defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is